Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, YouTube. Welcome, Facebook. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your boy, Coach Ja, in the building, man. Listen, it is a beautiful day today. It's beautiful because I said so. And that's the outlook you need to have when you wake up. Your day is beautiful because you woke up today and you got another shot at it. I don't care how steep that mountain looks for you, you still can fight the mountain. And that is the only thing that you need to be concerned about. Is when you can't fight, then you don't got to worry about it. You can be mad all you want then. But as long as you are here, you got a fighting chance at being fabulous, being fantastic, being super dope. And you got it. Listen, nobody can take that from you. Nobody can take that from you. You know why? Because nobody can be you. Nobody can be you. And in that is the best blessing in this world that you can have. You are unique, you are perfect, you are genuine, and it's up to you to show this world who you are. So, without any further shenanigans for me, my brother's in the building. I'm happy he's here. I'm honored he's here. Y'all get it from my man, Jerome Hurt in the building. What's good,
My
bro?
brother, my man, New York, baby. What's going on?
Listen, you know we going to get all into the New York vibes. You know
Let's
we got to
do
talk
this.
about some things.
New York, baby. I see you got your Giants paraphernalia behind you. You rocking the hat. You got the mug.
I have to let people know because sometimes they forget, right?
Nah,
Sometimes people forget, and I need to make sure I keep it in the forefront of their mind. It's always going to be New York.
right,
You know what I mean?
right. No matter where we are.
Yeah.
I constantly heard from people, man, when I was living in North Carolina. New York, you New Yorkers make sure you let people know you are from New York. Yes, we do.
I mean, what am I supposed to do, right? I'm supposed to say I used to live there. No. Here, it's in case.
So good to see you, brother. So good to see you
too, man. So I know you. I know who you are. I know what you do. Tell the people who you are, what you do, where you're from, and let's just get to this conversation.
Yes, sir. So my name is Jerome Hurt, J Hurt. I am founder and CEO of Buy Black for Life. It's something that I've been a financial professional for 30 plus years. And one of the things in working with wealth clients that I recognize and realized is that they take their wealth and they use it in ways to keep people of color and underserved communities oppressed. So what I created back in June, as all of, like my wife likes to say, the racial levees started to open up and flood on us, is the opportunity for our people to have a place and a platform for them to be able to sell to people that look like them, that would support them. And to be honest with you, it exploded in ways I never even imagined. And, there's also still some challenges. We have to change some of the mindsets and the behaviors where we hear, well, your people are not going to give you good service. Yes, they are. We need to remove ourselves from that slave mentality of what our people cannot do. But by the same token, we also need to hold our people accountable to Black excellence. And that was one of the reasons I had you on. You are the epitome of Black excellence. And we need our people to hear from brothers like yourself, to see that real brother. Listen, we know where we came from. People need to know, no matter what your situation is, you too can be the epitome of Black excellence, no matter what it is that you do. So I'm passionate about it. We are going to take it to higher levels, and I cannot wait. I mean, we're in 50 countries, and I'm sorry, we're in all 50 states and in 99 countries around the world. So I get things inbox, bruh, from people in Africa saying, we've been waiting to be able to do business with our people. The fact that some people, especially during the height of COVID, didn't know how they were going to pay their rent. By being able to do this, they're able to stay in their homes, they're able to stay in their apartments. And we've had a down period. We need to get more intentional about continuing to put it out there that when you support your people, that you are supporting keeping the money in your community, because the Black dollar leaves the community faster than any dollar of any ethnic group, and it's within 60 minutes that the black dollar is gone. The only way we are going to build generational wealth, and let's be clear about what generational wealth is, it allows future generations to be able to build and go about life in a comfortable manner, right? We see people that don't look like us that pass that down. They don't pass debt down.
Right.
They pass wealth down. Well, when we become entrepreneurs and owners of property in our businesses, that gives us the ability to do the same. So I'm intentional about that. And I'm going to keep doing that until my very last breath, brother. So that's what I'm about. That's who I am. And, you know, me and you've been peoples for like forever. So this is what we do. And I love what it is that you do in the community with your work. We all do community work. I do, teach economic empowerment and financial literacy to young people because we need to know the value. Okay, I have $1,000, but I really know the value of this $1,000 and what to do with it. We you know, being from the hood, I remember the term hood rich, right? You look like you got money because you got the car, you got the clothes, but your bank account is empty and you're living in your mom's crib, right? So that's hood rich. No, I want our people to be able to, you don't have to look. My multi-million-dollar clients, you would not even believe, they drive up in hoopties, right? And they don't look like it. So then when I would open up their information, I'd be like, wow. So for me, that also taught me something about, you know, I don't need to look like I have money as long as when I'm in my house, I'm comfortable. And should something come up financially, either for myself or for any of my family members, I can hold them down. So that's what it's all about for me, brother.
Man, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think a lot of our challenges in our communities that we don't understand the power of a dollar and we don't understand wealth.
Right.
I remember as a kid, they say, well, what do you want to be when you get older? First thing you say, you want to be rich. But what is rich? Right. And then rich versus having finances versus being wealthy is a whole different thing.
Whole different thing.
Yeah, one thing that I want to do, and I said I would ask, I told a lot of my folks that I would ask to try to get a situation where we can actually have a talk about how to make investments and what those things are, but on a level that people can understand, hey, this is a cup and it's coffee inside, but sometimes you can put water inside. And so, you know what I mean? Like I think with us, we don't understand the writing on the wall, if you would. Like the business writing, I'm a creative writer. I hate business. I hate reading contracts. I'm just gonna be honest. Like I hate things that don't look flowery to me. Like if it doesn't look, I don't like it. And I think the dislike in the wording makes us not want to read, and this is why we miss out on a lot.
And I'm gonna be real, bro. So it's very simple how we start to accumulate wealth. And a lot of people don't get it, but real estate, right? Imagine, so I'm going to give you a quick story. My wife and I have a friend, right? And she got married. She and her husband, she, you know, a year later got pregnant, right? And I think she's Greek and I think he's Italian. Yeah. So what they did was, and it's right here in Queens, they had an apartment that they were living in, they were renting in Manhattan. And the parents said, we have your grandmother's house, mortgage paid. All you have to pay is taxes. Go live there and build up for what it is that you want. It's big enough if you're going to have the children. That in and of it, and both of them have great jobs. So imagine being able to, all you're really worried about is paying the taxes and utilities in your home because there is no mortgage, right? And you are able to now build up your assets for a few years while you are there, and you could also work on that very next thing. That real estate in and of itself is the start of you being able to do that. Anybody that tells you that you will become wealthy through the stock market doesn't know what they're talking about. The stock market is in addition to
right.
accumulating wealth. And when I say that, so a lot of people wonder to themselves, well, the economy is not doing well, but yet the stock market is doing well. It's doing well because at this particular time, the wealthy who this pandemic financially has not impacted them still are taking opportunities to invest their money and build up their portfolios.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So when a person like the current occupant says the economy is doing well, he equates the economy to the stock market because his rich friends are getting richer.
Yeah.
Where people like us who have are directly affected by the economy, it's not doing well because of other factors that don't include the stock market. So that real estate, if you buy a piece of real estate, that's where it starts. And one of the things I want to do eventually with this group, brother, is be able to buy buildings, right? May they be commercial buildings to have businesses in. May they be rental properties where we can have a group of people and we have a rental property, because I believe we can truly have a Wakanda when we decide that we're going to stop backstabbing each other, stop hating on each other, and start pooling our resources together to build.
Yeah.
You know, we could go to any community here in New York and see the differences in the Black communities where business owners don't look like us, and other communities where you and I are not able to have any business in those communities. And it's so vital that we begin to shift that and we start owning, we start caring for our stuff, we start building up our stuff, and then we can now call shots in a different way. Look at the Jewish community, bro, in Brooklyn.
And look at where they started from. This is what
they just won for a case in the Supreme Court here in New York where the mandates for wearing masks, they don't have to wear them. Think about the power of being able to have attorneys stand before the Supreme Court and fight this for you.
Wow.
So what I'm trying to tell, and I know we're 400 years behind, right? I know where we eventually want to get. You and I may never see it, brother, but if we lay the groundwork,
right,
if we lay the foundation,
right,
if we start teaching our young people, and I have a huge kidpreneur group as part of my group, if we start teaching our young people so that they can take over, they could take the mantle, they could take that baton and they can move it, yeah, we'll be able to reverse a whole lot of things. You are doing it, and by the grace of God, I'm feeling it and I'm seeing it. So that's the goal, brother.
I'm gonna tell you, it's amazing you say that. My daughter told me, my daughter was on the phone a couple of days ago, and she said, "Dad, I want to become a nail tech." And I said, "Well, that's fine, but rather than be a tech, why don't you let's work towards getting your own building but because in my mind, I know, right? I see, and so I think part of what we do as in the Black community, I think we're afraid to succeed. And we want to say, well, I know I can do this, but I don't think I can do that. So I'll just settle for this. And I think that's one of our biggest things. I'm not settling for shit. That's just in my mind, like nothing. I love this quote. Quincy Jones says, set your goals so high that you can never even achieve them. But what that does is keep you fighting, keep you pushing, but you never get an ego because you hadn't reached that goal.
And you stay hungry.
And you stay hungry.
But here's something, I'm going to go even deeper to what you said, right? Think about this. In our communities growing up, right? We didn't have examples, for example, doctors, lawyers, judges business owners, right? Growing up. Mentorship is huge, right? So, like, you and I mentor young people, right? So they could see the example now, right? A lot of our underserved communities don't have that, right? So when we talk about, for example, a lot of people don't see it maybe in the way that I see it, but when we talked about the crime bill in the 90s that took away so many people, it took away the examples, and I'm not saying all of them were positive, but it took away examples of also manhood that some young men in our community would have been exposed to that they didn't get a chance to.
That's right.
So mentorship is huge.
Yeah.
Wherever you go in life, we have to be about reaching back, right? And when we reach back, we need to mentor young people, and hopefully they go beyond what it is, that level that we've even set, because that should be the goal,
Yeah.
right? I mean, like you said, your daughter wants to be a tech. Nah, let me explain to you the vision.
Yeah.
This is the vision right here, and when you believe in it, right? Automatically, she's gonna, like, in her private moment, she's gonna be like, yeah, I can really do this. My dad is seeing it too. So yeah. And it's all about mentorship that a lot of us really didn't have, brother.
Yeah.
That I love how you do it. Like, yeah, get this, here's the example. And let me tell you, it wasn't a beautiful upbringing. It wasn't pretty coming up, right? It was a struggle, and we've had that conversation. And for that, I praise God that you were here, brother. Like, and you know what? Even though you went through it, what you made of it, come on now. So, when they see examples of the fact that, because I tell people, I'm clear about this. I used to be a stick-up kid.
Me too.
For 30 days, bro. Yeah, 30 days. And the reason it ended in 30 days, my big brother came from Harlem, put a 9mm to my dome, and
Wow.
said, I hear what you're doing in these streets. If it continues, I'm going to put a hole in your head.
Wow.
I believed him.
Wow. Wow.
Done. He was like, you play ball, you could get a scholarship. You're an amazing athlete. You could do any sport. You get straight A's. The streets ain't for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
You know, another thing that I learned too, Jerome, not to cut you off, I want to say this too, but the era we know, we had hustlers and dealers and pimps and stick-up kids, but they didn't teach us to do that shit.
No.
They'd come to the block, look, go buy you one of them 99 cent blocks of ice cream and some cookies and take your ass in the house.
Take your ass to the crib.
Listen, come from an era where, and this is what
streets held you accountable.
Yeah, this is what I really hated most about the crime bill and all of the 3 strikes and all that. They took away some of the major components. Here's another thing that I want people to understand. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, you know what? I want to be a drug dealer.
No one.
I want to be a murderer. I want to be a hitman. I want to be. Nobody wakes up and says that. But we got to realize that the system crushes you. It's like the mouse. If you chase a mouse and you corner him off, he's going to attack.
Yes, he is.
He will run until you corner him, and they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And people forget that this system forces you to that.
Right.
But nobody talks about that.
Let me be clear. And there's 2 things I talk about with respect to what you're saying, right? Number one, and this is going to hit a lot of people, and they may not like it, but I'm gonna be real. Yeah. I really feel churches in our community has failed us, right? And I say that because the churches are so negative to our young people. They chase our young people away. They want the young people to come to them instead of them coming to the young people. So I even remember going to church and I was to be seen, not heard. So number one, that's a failure in our communities. And if we want to get gangs turned around. We need to open the doors of every church, have brothers like you and I who aren't afraid to be able to rap to these young cats. Number one. And churches are equipped for that more than anything or any place else. Churches are equipped for it. Number two, nobody talks about the effects, the traumatic effects of social injustice, racial injustice that is heaped upon our people.
Come on.
Nobody wants to talk about that. Bro, I remember I had, an uncle that when I came into the house, right, at my aunt's house, all of us, we had to be quiet, right, because uncle had just gotten home from work. And when uncle did wake up, all he did was, grunt and growl at us. He was never a happy cat. He was never a happy cat because he, every day in going out to work, was being subjected to racial inequities, right? And unlike what we have now, he didn't have the outlets to be able to express it, number one, or do anything about it, number two. So he had to hold all of that in so he could hold down his family. Yeah. Right? We don't talk about those long-term effects. The reason why crime is going up in the communities that we live in, because the people that are elected to take care of our people during this pandemic are not doing it.
They're not doing it.
And that's not to excuse anybody doing a crime. It's to let you know that when you have no choice, you need to. The reason I was a stick-up kid, we were dirt poor. I needed to eat. Period. No other reason, but I needed to eat. So that's that. So when you have communities of people who that's being heaped upon, what do you expect? Like you said, you corner that rat eventually is going to come back at you. And another thing, right? And a lot of people are not thinking about this really. So with the racial pandemics, it's also let our young people know that a lot of these companies who have built their wealth off of the backs of Black people, they want to take back what they believe is theirs. So on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan, crews of kids are just bum rushing these expensive stores and jacking them and daring them to do something. And basically all they're saying is, this is my reparations.
Yeah, wow.
And I mean, I may not like it. I get it. They're realizing during when we were shut in and the racial pandemics were happening, these young people are listening and they're hearing that everything in terms of wealth that white people have built were built off of the backs of Black people. So these young people are like, I am owed this.
Right.
You sit down and talk to these young cats, they're going to tell you, I have no remorse for smashing that window and taking that jewelry. That came off of the backs of my ancestors.
Wow.
You know how powerful that is, bro? Man, bro, but you know what? That doesn't mean that we should stop working on them, right? Because my feeling is, if you're in a job, you are too busy to be smashing windows. It's that simple.
I'm gonna tell you something that I'm not gonna say nobody thought about. I haven't heard anybody say that kind of helps with the gang situation. Let's think about how gangs started. It was to take control of our community, protect our community.
Protect our communities. I say it all the time.
Let's just look at the projects. Every household in there say, whatever loose change you have, throw that in the bag. We're going to give it to these kids to make sure they monitor the security. They're walking people home from the subway. They're making sure women are okay. They're helping clean up trash and all that. They have a freaking job now.
Yes, sir.
That's in their neighborhood. So guess what? Now, me and little Tommy ain't going to fight because, come on, man. I'm trying to clean this up, bro. Come on, son. I'm trying.
Right.
And that little bit of change. Think about how many apartments are in one project building.
Yes, sir.
And they just, it's no mandatory anything, whatever you have. Dig down in that old person, throw some change in the bag.
And hook them up.
Hook them up. And guess what? Now, you know
Feed
what?
them.
I'm
Feed
not
them.
in the elevator. Feed them.
Yes.
It's simple. It's simple. I say this all the time. If we do things like community watch programs, when the police come in the neighborhood, they have a police officer that's there that they have to go. Listen, we're coming to serve this warrant to so and so. Okay, when you come in building 4, so and so is going to be here. He's not a threat.
Right.
Don't fuck with him.
Right.
There's a guy seated in his car. He's waiting for his kids. Don't mess with him. They have somebody to, but we don't do the simple things that will, and these are simple things.
Bro,
Any neighborhood can do, get the kids in the neighborhood, all of them together. This is what we're going to do. You're not going to get rich off of this, but you could eat something tonight, and nobody has to rob anybody tonight.
Bro, what yo, me and you are crazy aligned. And I'm going to say that even from the jump, when you talked about early, being on early, I have a saying, early is on time is late. And you said it, like, for real. So we are aligned. Let me tell you, during the election, these were things that I was trying to get gangs to be able to do to protect our people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought there would be threats in communities by the other side.
Yeah.
However, if you have these cats there, these cats got no fear, right? I mean, I thought I had no fear when I was a youngin'. It's a different level of no fear with these young cats now. Different, right? So starting them in that way would be amazing, right? None of them was willing to do it when I was putting it out there, right? But like you said, being able to have our communities police our communities, right? You know how vital that is, and that's why. And I love Barack Obama, but I totally disagree with him in his saying that using the term defund the police we shouldn't use. And by what that means is taking resources from the police department and putting it into communities.
Mm-hmm.
It makes the police safer, right? Because mental health professionals are now on calls with them.
Right.
People in our communities are getting the mental health programs that they need. Elder care in our communities, right? Yeah. Having the police, like you said, if I'm in the community and a police officer knows me and they walk to me and they're like you said, they need to serve a warrant. All right, listen, I know his moms, I know his dad. This, let's try to, make it as smooth as possible. Maybe I could get him to come out, whatever it may be. But if we do it in a community way, that not only makes the community safer, it also, and for me, I don't get this, it makes the police safer. Wow. Who would not want that when you really break it down in that way?
Yeah.
Sending more police to the hood, that's not good.
That's not good. Never has been.
When I think about the cats in Long Island coming to New York City, listen, I love Long Island, right? I got family out there. I raised my kids out there. Long Island is no place for you to get ready to go into Brooklyn.
Not at all. Not at all.
Right? It's no place. So sending and what it does is that wall that divides us, it just grows bigger when you're sending more police in who are just not ready for it. So when you defund the police, it's, and maybe the word defund is something that's negative, but if people were to sit down and understand what it means, they will understand not only does it benefit the community, it benefits those who are the police and keeps them safe. Yeah. And who would not want that? And if they don't want that, then we have to ask ourselves, well, why?
Why they don't want it. But Jerome, the biggest issue is the freaking police union.
Absolutely. Too powerful.
So I don't know if you knew. Okay, so the officer, the attorneys who got the police, so when they murdered Eric Garner,
mm-hmm.
the attorneys that got those officers off the hook, the police union hired them to retrain the police officers. And so that meant they took people who were sitting on desk jobs and put them back on patrol in under the guidelines of, this is how we got these officers off of a murder rap. This is what you need to relearn, so you no longer have to worry about when this comes up. That's what I mean by we got that union is fucked up. And I'm just going to say what is that police union is the issue.
Absolutely.
Think about that, right? We know they had the power anyway.
Right.
That's why police officers never get in trouble.
Right. Right.
But the idea that you will take someone that manipulated a situation that was, just wrong. Okay, they manipulated that so that people don't be held accountable for what they've done. That can't be ever, money cannot replace any of that, right? And then you're going to allow them to retrain all of your officers so that they know when this situation comes up, not if, but when it comes up, this is what you do. Think about it, you never hear from the police officer until months later.
Yes.
They're
yes.
not, don't say nothing.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
In fact, when I looked at the Eric Gardner murder, those officers didn't even make a statement that was valid right after it happened.
Bro,
they had time to decompress and everything.
I'm gonna go even deeper, right? Eric, the only reason those police came there was because Eric Garner broke up a fight in the streets. That's the only reason they even showed up. So he was there as a peacemaker.
He did their job.
Fight, and he loses his life selling Lucy's. Right. So, and I want to talk about unions, right? Because let's be real, me and you were part of a union, right? And I was a shop steward in a union, but I also was going to law school, right? So being in a union, it puts everybody on the same plane.
Yep.
The bad worker and the good worker all on the same plane.
Yeah.
And for me, like, bro, I wish you could have heard some of the stories that our coworkers, the dumb they would do, and want me to be able to get them out of it. And you know me, I'm gonna be like, you did what? And I would say to them, I'm just gonna hope that I'm here just hoping that they treat you fairly. How can I know that you've done something and they warned you?
Yeah.
You've done something repeatedly, and now you want me to get you out of that trouble? That bothered my spirit.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So all that I would be there for, and I would be so real. I would come from my day job some of the time to that airport to get people out of stuff. And I'd be like, I'm just here to make sure that you treat my union brother fairly.
Right.
Simple. We don't have people that are holding these people accountable.
Nope.
I have family members, and I say it to their face. I don't believe they're good cops, because if there were, there wouldn't be as many bad cops. Right? Listen, if you my man 100 grand and you are not doing right on the job, as my man 100 grand, I'm gonna be like, yo, bro, no, because it reflects badly on us all. Especially as people of color. So I need you to step it up. And they don't have that in the police force. But I'm gonna tell you something that I wrote about this. When you think about the blue wall of silence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about, and we going back to gangs, think about how gangs are in a no snitch culture.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. How is that much different from what the police have? But the police want us, even though if I snitch on this blood, I run the possibility of my family being wiped out,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
You don't care about that. So you have a partner you know that's doing wrong, but it's the blue wall of silence, and I'm supposed to be okay with you doing it, but you're not going to be okay with me.
Right.
So when I think of who the biggest gangs are in this country,
Yeah.
it starts with the police force.
Oh yeah. Always has been.
Yes,
Always
sir.
has. And even and I'll go even further because the political beasts that are behind them.
Mm.
You know what I mean? They sign right off, sign right off, sign right off. But here's,
Yeah.
I'm glad we talked about that too. Here's the thing that I want us to know. The bottom line is, when we look at these ballots and these voting ballots, if anybody who says they're not voting, I don't want to have a conversation with you.
Simple.
Because in my mind, I've been there. I've done that.
And we talked about that. Yeah.
Right, we talked about that. And I'll admit, I told this to people before. The first time I voted was for Obama. It was the first time a lot of us voted. And he won. He got in office. I did not vote because I was like, there's no way they're going to let this occupant be in this White House. And I think the majority of Americans who did not vote
Felt that.
felt the same way.
Yes, sir.
Now, but it was proof that we don't need to let that be the situation again, right?
Ever.
Now, here's the kicker for me. We have on the ballot uncontested people running for positions.
Right.
Nobody, you know what I mean? Then we have positions that we don't even know what they are.
Yes.
And it goes back to what I said earlier. We don't read the fine print because half the time we don't understand it. And my reading comprehension is pretty decent, right?
Yes.
But I don't understand that terminology. And I think part of our issues with that is we don't understand it, so we don't want to take a part of it. But here's the thing. Until we say, let me get a dime from every household in our neighborhood every week, a dime, not $10, just a dime, one of those little things.
Just a dime.
Let's take that the whole year and put it behind somebody who we know is going to say, this is what we want.
Yes.
Until we're ready to do that, we're going to continue to have this problem. We're going to continue to fight that fight.
Bruh, if you think of other ethnic groups, we are the most divided.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of it obviously is because of the slave trade. Let's not even sugarcoat that, right? So a lot of our work in changing the thought process of our people, it's a challenge.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It is such a big challenge that but you know what? I know we both remain undeterred on being able to fix it.
Yeah.
Right. Our voting system, in this country needs to be overhauled all the way. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you heard in Florida how there were 2 ghost candidates for their state Senate seats. They registered as Republicans. They got $500,000 each into their campaign. They had a name, but no one ever saw these 2 candidates. They registered as Democrats so that they could take votes away from other Democrats so that Republicans could win. When they did the research to find out who they were, them as well as their families are registered Republicans.
Wow.
It's not illegal for that to happen.
Wait a minute.
No, sir.
That's not illegal?
It's not illegal at all. All that needed to be in place is some vetting of this particular person, right? Wow. It was 2 people, one of them a Hispanic man too. And wow. He was on camera. Someone approached him, an investigative reporter approached him and said, I'm looking for David. I think his name is David Hernandez or something like that. He said, well, he's not here. He'll be here tomorrow. It was David Hernandez. Wow. Nobody had ever seen his face. Wow. All of the signs for him and pamphlets they sent out with that $500,000, no pictures of him.
Wow, that's
So think about that. You and I are running for a political seat. We're both we're both Democrats. Then a third unknown Democratic person comes in, where in reality they're part of that Republican politician spot, so that that person can take votes away from us that could go to them. So we split the vote. It's not illegal.
such an American way.
So man,
It
boom, mic drop right there. It is.
is. I mean, that's America.
It is. It is. Crime. You know, when we think of crime in America, we think of what happens in underserved communities. We've got to stop thinking like that. We have to think about the financial, the white collar crime
Yeah.
that really cripples us top down,
Top
that
down.
nobody wants to address. And the reason they don't want to address it is because of the color white. It's not you and I committing those crimes. It's people that look like the other man.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's one thing that I always say that we forget in this country as Black people. I'm gonna say this, and I'll repeat this enough that people should know it. When Ku Klux Klan were walking around with white hoods instead of robes and police badges, right? During that time, they wanted to rid the country of two things: niggers and Jews, right?
Period.
So if we look at, because the South, we know where we stood in the South for sure, and not that the North was that much greater, but
Right.
the North used language to make you say, well, maybe not. The South said, hell no, this is
Right.
how it is, right?
Right.
But during that time, what happened? Jews got together, they made laws, and now they fight those laws.
Yes, sir.
Here's what we forget as Black people: those laws are for us,
As well.
and we don't fight together to make that's listen, that's our biggest issue,
Really.
because those laws were made for people in their position, and as this country said, niggas and Jews were in the same position.
Correct.
Those laws that they use, even against us, are the same freaking laws that move us collectively here. They will change some shit after we start using that.
Oh, absolutely.
But they don't have to, because we don't even know them.
Listen, just getting a gun, right? Legal, right?
Yeah.
I constantly have said to people, want to see gun laws change? Want to see gun laws change? This is what you, bro. I remember when I first moved to North Carolina and I got my driver's license, and the lady was like, "Would you like your gun permit?" Sure. Okay. Boom. Done.
Done.
I didn't have to qualify for it. It was done on the spot. I'm like, if it's this easy for me, who else is it easy for? And make sure you are strapped up, right? Because it's that easy. So, like you said, that law in North Carolina was good for them. It was good for me as well. Okay, cool. Yes.
Yeah.
This is what I want. And we man, there's so much waking up that we as people have to do. And we need to be unapologetic about waking our people up. You know, bro, I wish you could see some of the things that I see in my group with self-hate. Some of the brothers just knocking women. And I'm big on that. You know, my mother was a survivor of domestic violence from my father. I'm big on protecting women, especially Black women. Even right there where we worked, our female coworkers will tell you, they were like, if somebody jumped up on me, Jerome was right there. Like, so we still got a lot of work to do in our, amongst ourselves. There's no doubt about it. But let's not ignore what has created that, and that, thing that's heaped upon our communities, our people need counseling,
Yeah.
right? Bro,
Absolutely.
I speak to my counselor like
Yeah.
Monday at 1 o'clock,
Right. Right. Right.
because I got trauma as well.
Yeah.
That's heaped upon my life. So we have to do some work. We have to mentoring is always the top of my list. I had somebody that I used to work with, and she came to me and she was like, my son graduated from high school. What's a good
Mm.
graduation gift? I said, a mentor. She was like, what? I said, get your child a mentor.
Yeah.
Simple. I
Yeah.
said, when you cannot put a dollar value on getting a mentor for your child to help them through their college years and through
Yeah.
their careers. So get a mentor for your child. She walked away like that was different. But giving me something material, if I had to look back and go back, it's only going to last for the moment. But a mentor, that influence, that positive influence, is going to last for the lifetime. And we know it because we do it.
I think we need to start, the mentorships need to start in middle school.
Absolutely, yes.
Which is why my goal is to have a place for middle school students, and I want the ones who have that, I'm a tough guy mentality, because I want to show them how to use that in making your life better, as opposed to making yourself look like, this image of what a thug is, because half the people don't even understand the thug was never a black person from the beginning.
No, man,
They don't never fit black skin anyway. The definition of a thug was never black people.
They listen, man. I've worked in corporate America my whole life, man, and when I started in corporate America, I had that still street mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who mentored me, a woman, and she's a dear friend of mine, Jackie Durochet. She broke me out of that quickly. Like, black woman, I love her dearly. She was like, yeah, we ain't got time for that here. You got to understand, you as an intelligent black man, if you come in here with that, you don't just mess it up for you. You mess it up for the next and the next and the next. So I'm going to need you, that if you want to stay in corporate America, this is what you're going to need to do.
You need to do.
And to this day, man, I love her. I let her know how much I appreciated that conversation. She only had to say it to me once, Ja.
Right, right.
And she used to give me love, because even back then I was still writing music and doing hip hop, right? She would give me opportunities that would allow me, while I was at work, to continue to write my stuff.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. So she was really cool with that, and I give her love. She still calls me by that name that I used back when I was rapping, J Money. She still calls me that. She doesn't call me Jerome. She calls me J Money. So
wow.
The love, man, that she was able to pour into me, and as a black woman too, right?
Yeah.
It was amazing. And I don't even think she realized the effect that it would have to me. Here it is 30 plus years later, how it's had the effect on me. She's a blessing to my life, man. And because of her, I make sure that I'm a blessing to others. You want to bring that hood mentality to work? Let me show you how you can direct that in a positive way.
Yeah.
Because some of the time, that hood mentality, you see things that normal people don't see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way that you need to convey that in order for you to get to the next goal, boom, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then after a while, when you're starting to see that the fruits of your labor are starting to turn into something amazing, you start to walk away from that mentality, and then your mindset starts to shift. You're still going to be who you are, because let's be clear, right? We are who we are, right? I mean, we are from where we are from.
Yeah.
But it's a different level of grind and hustle for us than it was when we were in that. And I'm blessed. Listen, I'm blessed by the hood that I, came up through, right? Yeah. So it's never a knock. made me the man that I am, I never say I'm a product of my environment. My environment is a product of me. I surround myself with positive brothers and sisters, just like you do, and
Okay.
you are a part of that environment, right? So we become our environment becomes a product of us because we now have a shift, and now we surround ourselves with people that will challenge us to be better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Jerome, we got like 9 minutes. So I want to give you this moment just to anything that you want to say and leave them with. I got to get you back on, bro, because like we
Right.
got so much and we don't have enough time, but I got to get you back on. But I want you to whatever's moving you to say in this moment, you know, to the people or advice, anything that you want to give. I definitely want to direct people to your website, to your Facebook group and all that. So definitely add that into. But anything that you want to leave them with now would be perfect.
Yeah, first of all, Buy Black for Life. Listen, it is a platform that allows our people to do business with our people. We are doing things on social media different than other Buy Black groups in that we're trying to bring you content that, like I said, shows Black excellence, shows Black people out there doing the damn thing, right? And we also help people with their businesses. A lot of the businesses that are part of our group were started because of the pandemic, right? So you don't have it all together, and we recognize that, and we realize that we're going to help you with that. We're going to help you. I'm the financial expert. We're going to help. We have financial seminars that we're going to have. We have a branding expert. Bruh, our branding expert we call her the GOAT. She that bad.
Wow.
We had a meeting last night, and me and one of the other members, we had thoughts of what the meeting was going to be. Our branding expert was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. And she just ripped it through. And you walk away with respect.
Yeah.
And I love that. I really and truly do. And we need to get out and we need to support each other. Brother, I hear and see everything you doing. And I'm going to tune in tonight, man. I don't know what we got planned for the evening. I'm going to tune in tonight. I love what it is you got going on. Let's support our people, man. Let's make sure so eventually we're coming out of this.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And when we come out of this, what are we going to be left with? Right. And those things and people and groups and positivity that sustained us, just because we come out of it, should not be that we forgot who had us. So let's make sure that we become about our business and our people.
Yeah.
And, you know, driving in the car, I had to drive my wife to work this morning. She's in the city. She goes back twice a week. And I was listening to CNN on the radio. And, you know, you said it about politicians. I'm going to use the word because other ethnic groups use it. Buying politicians. When we are about our money and we are about fundraising and buying our politicians, it's going to keep people like the current occupant out of the White House. Bro, over 250,000 people have died from coronavirus. And 6 months now, this man has not acknowledged what it is that this is.
Yeah.
However, over 70 million people voted for him. That's sad. That's sad. Yeah. Unemployment is at all-time highs. Every single day, every single week. And that's my dog. I'm sorry. Dallas. And unemployment keeps going up. And some of the unemployment is about to run out on so many people.
Yeah.
With no help in sight. It's hurtful. It hurts me to my heart to hear it and to see it. I've seen people evicted from their homes because the programs for rent programs have run out.
Mm-hmm.
We have to remember, and we have to document, and what you do, I know it's important. Document this time so that we can never forget. We are intentional about never forgetting 9/11.
Right.
This time, these lives that were lost, I've lost, I think, about 12 people I know to the pandemic. I'll never be able to rap with those people ever again. Right?
Yeah.
Never. We must make sure that this time is never distorted. Never.
Yeah.
I'm writing a book about it. I'm gonna be part of another book, an anthology, that we talk about things before the election and before COVID and in COVID. And we all have a piece in that. We must make sure we document this time and who is responsible for it. And we as Black people need to remember, we have been hit the hardest.
Oh, yeah.
I love my people. I will ride or die for my people. I need all of us to ride or die for our next man.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I got, brother.
Yeah. Man, look, Jerome, like I said, bro, I was excited when I know it was on the schedule, man.
Damn.
You know, I mean, we've been here. We didn't get to talk about our Knicks yet, but we got that on the next one. But there's so much that you offer people who have not had a chance to sit and speak with you. And I tell people all the time, you have to take time to listen to a person and not just listen, but hear what they're saying. And when it comes from the depths of their soul and like, listen, let me explain something to you.
Yeah.
It really makes a big difference. And you deliver so well for people to, you know, it makes common sense to me. So I got to get you back on, man.
You already know how we do. Just say, yo, Jay, this date, I'm there. You already know. You already know. You already know. And I'm going to tune in tonight, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to, if there's a promo, man, send it to me so I can put it on my page.
Okay.
You know, I need you hyped up as well. Like, for real. Because, listen, when any of us that are doing this, what we're doing, yo, it's hard out here, right? Yeah. And if we could support each other in what it is that we're doing, man, the things that we could create. Because one of the things I also said about changing the narrative about our communities is through different mediums.
Yeah.
And we both are a part of that.
We are part of that.
Changing the narrative. We're not on here. We're not. I mean, yeah, what we come from is what we come from. But you know, we are positive Black men in our communities that we want better, not just for our families, but for people we don't even know.
No.
Yeah. You know, so when we have these mediums, these opportunities in order to support one another, we have to do it. And you know me, I'm tireless about doing it, and I will continue to do it.
That's what's up. That's what. Okay, let me close out, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Jerome, hold on, I'm gonna talk to you once I shut this down. Cool. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. It's amazing moments with my man Jerome. Please follow Buy Black for Life. You can find it on Facebook. If you can't get in touch, you can't find a holler at me, I'll get you hooked up. As always, I'd like to tell you today is a great day to be amazing. You have everything you need to be amazing. I challenge you today to be a better you today than you was yesterday. You have everything you need to do so. Find a way to fall in love with yourself again. Find a reason today in this moment to fall in love with you, because once you do that, you absolutely teach the world how they should love you, because you deserve it and you should have exactly what you're looking for. I thank y'all for tuning in. I will see y'all tonight, 7 o'clock. Me and AJ gonna be on. You do not want to miss this. 7 p.m. tonight. Me and AJ. I'll holler at y'all then. Peace and love.